presidential election in 2002 between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. This is a quick overview of the Electoral College and the results. This is on Thursday, 2 days after the election. This is a map of the United States Electoral College, the states, and the number of votes that each state has. This is based on population, and so we'll look at Kansas. This is a quick election result, the results of the election from 2 days ago. And based on this, you can tell there are obviously a Romney victory, so he received 6. Based on this map here, he received 6 electoral votes. Kansas has a fairly small population, so Kansas is given 6 electoral votes. When you look at this map, Romney wins, Romney gets 6. So it's a winner-take-all situation based on the constitutional description of the Electoral College. Winner-take-all. If you win a state by 1 vote, you get all of their electoral votes. So to determine the electoral votes from each state, you look at their House of Representatives, congressional representation, both in the House. You look at both the House and the United States Senate. So Kansas has 4 reps, and Kansas has 2 senators. All states have 2 senators for a combination of 6. Okay. Now this equals 2 plus 4 equals 6 for Kansas. Kansas has then 6 Electoral College votes allocated to it. Now, there are a total of 435 members in the United States House of Representatives. This is determined by law. This number stays the same unless the House changes it or increases it. It's been 435 for quite a while. 435 plus the 100 United States senators. So you add these 2 up plus an additional 3 for Washington, D.C. So 435 plus 100 plus 3 equals 538. That's the magic number. This is the total number in the Electoral College. Now, if you divide that by 2, a majority of the 538 is the 270 votes that is necessary to become President of the United States. So everybody is concerned about 270. It's the magic number. Forget about the popular count. Everybody is racing to get 270. So let's look at a couple of other numbers. These are the results as of Thursday after the election. If you look at Texas with 38 electoral votes, these went to Romney. These are the totals right here. You need 270. Texas got 38. Romney got 38 from Texas, I should say. And these are all the other numbers. So when you add it up, you're racing to 270. Obama got 303. Romney has 206, and they are still undecided on Florida. They're still counting those results. Now we can look real time at CNN, and let's take a look here real quick. Maybe the link isn't working. We'll take a look at CNN here in a second. But this is county by county, a county by county result, and this is actually back in 2008. So we have red for McCain, John McCain in 2008. We have blue for Obama. So it's a little bit confusing sometimes when you look at this, but if you look at Kansas, it's all red county by county, except for a couple of blue spots. You can look even at California here and you say, well, there's just as much red as just and blue. But if you look at Los Angeles, you look at San Francisco, you look at some of the larger metropolitan areas, and they are blue. So they cancel out all of the red. So the blue areas are very high population centers. The red areas are very low in population centers. This is actually a preliminary result, a preliminary map of the results in 2012. So this is between Romney and Obama. Somewhat similar, when you go back, predictably somewhat similar, especially in the larger metropolitan areas. All right, now this illustrates as a space satellite photograph from NASA at night. This demonstrates population and the demographics of populations within the United States. Kind of a similar photograph from space. Some projections for what future population trends are. East and West Coasts and Florida. Texas will continue to grow. Florida will continue to grow. California, and of course the Northeast. Chicago is a very large area as well. Chicago, you have Cincinnati, Detroit, some of these areas up here. Now this is kind of an interesting list here. These are the top 10 metropolitan areas. So this includes a 4-county area. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. Counties in those areas are represented by this 21 million. Los Angeles, 17 million. If you take these top 10 here, top 10 cities or metropolitan areas, I want you to take a look right here at this 5 million number. This 5 million number. 5,400,000. That's Atlanta. Now you take a look at this list here. 30 smallest states. Minnesota, 5,200,000. So you go back here, 5,400,000. 10 cities have a higher population than our 30 smallest states. So that's just something to think about. And then you can also think about what states these cities are in. And if you can win those cities, you can win those states. So if you're a campaign strategist, where are you going to campaign? Where are you going to spend your money? Where are you going to spend your resources? You kind of look at these metropolitan areas, or maybe even the top 20 largest metropolitan areas, and that's where you spend your money. And that's where you're looking for votes. That's the best use of resources. Some of these states, Wyoming, you look at the smallest 10, especially the smallest 7, less than 1 million people. All of these would only have three total electoral votes. So that's 7 states. You could win every one of them and you only have 21. That's 21 electoral votes right there. Whereas if you would win California, California has 55 electoral votes just from California. Montana, these 7 have 21 total. So these are the smallest 30 states. Smallest 30 states. You can count up all these numbers. And it is less than 270. So it is quite possible to win the executive office, to win the election for president, with only winning the slight majority in 11 states, if you choose the right 11. If you choose the largest 11 states and you add up their electoral college representation, you can get 270 electoral votes. It is quite conceivable that 39 states could vote against you. 39 states could vote against you, but if you choose California, Florida, Texas, New York, if you get the correct 11 states, you get 270, you become president. Just a quick overview of the Electoral College. Now, I'd like to quickly go to the CNN site and show you just real quickly a map. Bear with me here. Let's see if this works now. If you look at this United States map, CNN has a pretty good interactive site here. And when you go to, let's say, a state of Kansas, it pops up here as a window here. Romney got 678,000, Obama got 427,000, so just over a million, 1,100,000 or so votes. 1,100,000 votes from Kansas. Now, Kansas population is closer to 3 million. Obviously, half of those people have not participated in the election. But a 60% to 38% in Kansas. Let's take a look even closer. So let's look at Kansas and the counties by county. So when you go to, let's say, a county like Sumner or Sedgwick here, Sedgwick, 173,000 total votes. You checked 104 for Romney and the 69 for Obama. Keep that in mind. You have approximately 175,000 votes from Sedgwick County. 175,000 total votes from Sedgwick County. Now what I'd like to do is go back and let's look at California. And this is pretty clear as it illustrates population. When you go to California, and let's look at Los Angeles County. There were more votes for Obama in Los Angeles County, 1.6 million, than voters in Kansas. This cancels out Kansas quite quickly. Kansas has 6 electoral votes. California has 55. So Obama got more votes in Los Angeles than entire voters in Kansas. And as you go through this, you can look at Ventura County, and then up here you have Monterey, San Benito, Santa Clara, so on and so forth, Santa Cruz. Pretty good site here to go county by county. Now let's look at some of these more rural counties. You have, that was the wrong click. When you look up here, less than 10,000 votes from this county, less than 4,000 votes from this county. Of course, they're 70% for Romney, but easily canceled out by Los Angeles County. All right, then we can just quickly take a look at some similar states. When we go to Florida or Ohio, you can look at Ohio, very close, extremely close, 50% to 48%. Let's look where did Obama get the votes? In the industrial northern part of the state. Erie County, Sandusky, Wood, Lucas County. Look at the results, 65%. Then you go down to here. It's close. It's close. This is where Romney has to win by about 70%, and he's not winning. It's almost tied. And this is a Romney stronghold, but there's only 10,000 votes. The southern part of Ohio. So anyway, I don't know if this helps or not. Very useful site on CNN 2 days after the election with very close to 99% of all votes. One of the things you look at here also then, interestingly enough, when you look at Florida, Florida is still not called 2 days later. But if you look at the total votes, it is within about 45,000, leaning towards Obama. They do claim that maybe 3 or 4% of the votes in Dade County, Broward, Palm Beach, these are the votes that are still not counted. So if you look at Palm Beach, 58%, 41%, 67% to 32%, 62 to 38%. If those ratios continue with the still uncounted votes, one would assume that even though the total vote is within 50,000, one would assume that the vote in Florida will lean towards Obama. It might be another couple days before they get those and the absentee votes and all those counted, but one would predict that the huge number of electoral votes, the 29 electoral votes from Florida, will still yet swing to Obama. So if that's the case, if you go back to the winner-take-all system and you go and you look at the 303 to 206 and you add, predictably I suppose, you add 29 to Obama, then this total may end up being very close to 332. 332 to 206, with a popular difference of maybe about 3 million. It's by no means a mandate, but a fairly comfortable victory at the end of the day.